Greetings, Felchin, in time and space. It's your host, TheAmariaShadow, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back once again to some more of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. We're going to be continuing right where I left off to the last live stream. We had finished episode 3, The Right of Turnabout, so we shall be getting episode 4, Turnabout Storyteller, today. So without further ado, let's get started on our way to today's adventure and see what's in store for us. Allons-y!
Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What time is it? It's 9, 10, 11.
Shisho's dead? No. Do you think he did it? Oh no! If he did it, then what do we do? Hey, pull yourself together! Don't worry, I have an idea. May 13th, 9:45 a.m., District Court, defendant lobby number 6. What the heck? Who brings the defendant to his own trial late? Plus, the request at the last minute, I didn't even have a chance to talk with my client. He's late for a very important date. My name is Athena Sykes. Armed with analytical psychology and a full arsenal of legal know-how, I'm a fully competent defender of the Right Anything Agency. So I wish my client would show up already. The trial's about to start. It appears we made it just in time. Where have you been? The trial's about to start, Simon! You needn't get so worked up, Athena. His baldness can wait. There's no way he'd wait for me. And besides, why would I want to start off on the wrong foot with him right out of the gate? Dealing with such matters is part of being a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, well, covering for your lateness is not. Still but a rank amateur, I see. This is Simon Blackwell. He might not look it, but he's actually a prosecutor and a psychology specialist. He and I go way back. As for our shared specialization in psychology, we're both disciples of the same person, so to speak. But he's kind of my senior, I guess. But twisted sense of humor or no, I wish he'd stop treating me like a child all the time. So, where are Right Dono and Justice Dono? Mr. Wright is abroad, and Apollo is helping Trucy with our magic show. Didn't I tell you? They're what? So neither one of them are here? Leaving you to take this on alone? Yep. Ye God. Call Right Dono back. It's not too late. Oh no, not too late at all. He would only need to know how to teleport. Very well. Then I will settle for Justice Dono. Go grab him by the horns and drag him here. Apollo's literally in the middle of a show, Simon. You may not want to admit it, but I've got what it takes to take on this case. Just leave this to me and go watch in the gallery. As your defense derails in spectacular fashion? No, as I win the heck out of this trial. I'll be okay, promise. So wipe that look off your face already, will you? Anyway, I take it the guy behind you is... Yes, he's your... He's asleep again. Hoi! Bucky, wake up! Yeah! Ow! What'd you do that for, Simon? Who's this yeller chickadee? She's your lawyer, such as it were. I say she's more green than yellow, however. Lawyer? She sure doesn't look it, does she? Is she like your fellow apprentice or something? Something like that. I've known her longer than I've known you. You could say we're bound to one another. Oh, okay. Well then, guess I better call her Miss Chickadee then. Simon, this guy's not only rude, but he's 3 sheets to the wind at his own trial. I know we just met, but I'm about ready to give him a piece of my mind. Do as you will. Save it for after the trial. Miss Chickadee, don't call me that! How'd you do? Simon here's an old friend of mine. I'm the 4th generation head chef of Wet Soba. Wet Noodle number 4, Bucky Wet. Nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Wet. So he can pull himself together when he wants to. If only the trial wasn't starting in a few minutes. Having been accused of a murder that only occurred yesterday, I'm afraid it's taken a toll on the poor boy. And you happened to be there at the theater where it all happened too, right? They said they found a Rakugo storyteller murdered in his dressing room. Indeed. The victim, master storyteller Taifu Tonito, was a long-time patron of Wet Soba. Master Tonito had been looking after Bucky ever since Wet Noodle number 3 passed away. I see, so the victim was kind of like a father to the defendant, huh? That stupid old fart! Like a father? No way! He was always dissing my Soba! How dare you speak ill of him! Running your mouth like that is why they suspected you of his mother in the first place! Now pull yourself together. Number 3 must be rolling in his grave. But Simon! The police! None of them believe me! They won't listen to me! Looks like he's still in shock from the whole ordeal. Don't worry, Mr. Wet. Everything's gonna be alright. I'm going to defend you with everything I've got. You're in good hands now. You mean you believe me, ma'am? Of course! No matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end. Gee whiz, Mr. Chickadee. Now come on, I need you to shape up, just like those al dente noodles of yours. Yes, ma'am. My soba is the freshest. But Mr. Wet! Lucky you great big pillock. So, how exactly do you know this guy? I used to frequent Wet Soba, and still do, in fact, so I've known him since he was a lad. That's why his father and Master Tonito were always so good to me. I didn't know you liked soba so much, Simon. I would expect one such as you who eats meat slab between slabs of bread. Understand delicate taste, and subtle textures imparted by buckwheat flour. Hey, that's just rude! But I digress. I'm all about flavor and subtlety and stuff. If I let Wet Soba end like this, I'll never be able to face number 3 or Master Tonito in the next life. Ah, I see. And that's why you came to me. You wanted somebody you could trust. It was never my intention to ask you. I'll show him I can handle it just fine. Well, I believe it's just about time. What? But we haven't even properly discussed the case yet. What's the matter? You look nervous, Anita. Don't tell me you're chickadeeing out. I'm just trembling with the excitement of battle, that's all. Let's do this. Come on, Mr. Wet. Get up off the floor. We've got a case to win. Yes, Miss Chickadee. I'm gonna do my best.
Wet Soba. Wet Soba. Wet Soba. Wet Soba. Wet Soba.
Hello? 2 bowls of noodles? Sorry, sir. No can do. Kinda busy at the courthouse. Huh? They hung up. Okay, let's do this. He's not going to do himself or his case any favors like this, Simon. Maybe we should let him go get some rest somewhere. Let me rest? Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough for udon noodles, but I'm fresh, like my soba, and you don't let soba dough rest. It's all about the 3 freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles fresh. He's blacked out! Oh boy, I just knew something like this would happen. Simon, what are these 3 freshes of soba he's talking about? First, buckwheat seeds are ground to make buckwheat flour. Then dough made with this flour is cut with a large rectangular knife into noodles. And finally, the buckwheat noodles are boiled. Each step is done immediately, one after the other, so that the soba is fresh when eaten. Oh, so that's what he meant. I wouldn't want him to make me any soba right now, though, that's for sure. I think that this is no time for idle chatter. You need to get into the courtroom now. Just remember, as a prosecutor, I'll be unable to lend you a hand, so don't expect any help from my quarter. There you go, treating me like I'm incompetent again. For your information, I wasn't planning on asking you to help anyway. Just you wait, Simon. I'll show you. Mr. Wright and Apollo may not be here, but that's all right. I can do this on my own. May 13th, 9:50 a.m., District Courtroom, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Bucky Wet. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is fully prepared, Your Honor. What's this? No prayer this time, Prosecutor Ohtani. That is correct, Your Honor. To expedite these proceedings, I completed them beforehand in the lobby. How very thoughtful of you. By the way, what brings you back to this country? Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth himself called on me to handle this case. Besides, I have a debt to repay. And though my opponent is yet a callow thing, I have no qualms with sending her down to
Objection!
If you have a score to settle, it's with Apollo, not me. But more importantly, I am not a callow thing. I'm a qualified and capable attorney. Then what is that yellow attire if not proof of your immaturity, you small-brained chick? Now cease your shrill chirping. Now, Prosecutor Ohtani. She is still only a teenager. Please go easy on her. Great! Now even the judge is giving me the kid treatment. Very well. Shall we begin, Your Honor? Yes, I suppose we should. Now then, Prosecutor Ohtani, please give your opening statement. I'll show them what I can do. They'll be sorry they underestimated me. Certainly. Let the last rites of the victim commence. The incident is believed to have occurred at around 4 p.m. yesterday, May 12th, at a storyteller theater called Kuru-Kuru-Te. The victim was a great master of the Tonido school of rakugo, or comedic storytelling. His name was Taifu Tonido. The scene of the murder was the theater's dressing room. It is accessible via the staff entrance hallway and has an inner and outer sliding door. The estimated time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. The cause of death is suffocation, though how the victim suffocated is yet to be determined. The autopsy found nothing unusual in his lungs or stomach, and there is no murder weapon. I will now submit the incident report to the court. Prosecutor Ohtani, how can you name Mr. Wet as the culprit when you don't know how the victim was killed, or even with what? While it is true that the weapon and precise method are, as yet, unknown, the accused is the only one who had the opportunity to commit the murder. I'll explain this assertion in further detail as we continue. I guess this means he has some kind of evidence to present. Now, would the accused care to plead his case? Come to think of it, where is the defendant, Miss Sykes? So sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid Mr. Wet isn't feeling very well and is resting in the infirmary. Surely it's the lack of a clear conscience that impedes him from facing this court. Great, starting off on the wrong foot already. Mr. Wet is the head chef of a soba shop frequented by the victim. On the day of the incident, Mr. Wet went to the theater at the victim's request. Taifu Tonido was a connoisseur of soba, as you can see in these photographs. He was apparently making soba himself in his dressing room that very day. The soba found at the scene is likely the soba he himself made there. Liking soba is one thing, but making it in a theater dressing room's a bit much, no? Master Tonido truly had a passion for soba, didn't he? For a man like that to be murdered by a soba shop is simply unthinkable. And yet, the accused had ample motive. For in the victim's safe, he discovered the deed to the accused's shop. Mr. Wet was to inherit Wet Soba when he lost his father recently. However, it's believed the victim stole the shop's deed during the transfer process. The prosecution believes the accused killed the victim in order to get the deed back. A murder over the deed to a shop. That does sound like a plausible motive. So that's what this case is about. I wish Simon had filled me in a little better. I could have contributed more than just 1,000 buckets of cold sweat if he had. Defense? From your demeanor, I gather you know very little about the details of this case. But, well, you see, you are dishonoring the soul of the victim by appearing in the courtroom unprepared. You are an embarrassment to your profession. You putrid egg yolk! I'm sorry. Apollo's a red pepper, and now I'm an egg yolk? We've only just started and have already been demoted from spring chick. I am ready to call my witness, Your Honor. Let us listen to the words of one who was present when the crime was discovered. Someone who was there when the victim's body was found? Very well. Witness, please take the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Simon Blackwell, prosecutor. Prosecutor Blackwell? You didn't tell me you were going to take the stand! There simply wasn't time. What a shame, Prosecutor Blackwell. Had you shared the damning scene your witness beforehand with the defense, we could have moved this trial along and saved the victim's soul that much faster. The damning scene? What in the world did Simon see? Prosecutor Sadmati, was it? Before I give my testimony, there's something I'd like to confirm. By all means. This case involves rakugo, a very traditional form of Japanese comedic storytelling. Do you have enough knowledge of this art form to handle this case competently? Are you implying that I am not qualified for this case? Not yet. I am simply trying to ascertain your familiarity with the topic, for now. It is a prosecutor's duty to learn the background of any case he takes on. I did some research on rakugo last night and have grasped the overall idea of it. How much could you possibly grasp in a single night? Rakugo is a form of entertaining storytelling that originated in the land of Japan. In it, the storyteller sits alone on the stage, with only a fan and a towel. And the rakugo artist tells long, whimsical stories, giving each character a distinct voice. This traditional art was originally invented by monks to make sermons more interesting. Are you satisfied? If not, I can explain the 12 types of endings to such stories. Or shall I perform the famous story of Jugemo instead? Gemu instead. Huh! It appears you have put in a bit of study. Your acknowledgement is most welcome, Prosecutor Blackwell. I can see why you are known for being quite thorough in your research, Prosecutor. Now, I would love to see you perform that story you mentioned if you don't mind. If that is your Honor's request. Shigemi. Your Honor, could we please get back to the trial? Oh, right, of course, I nearly forgot. Seriously? Of all the things for you to forget. Now then, back to the case. Prosecutor Blackwell, please tell this court what you witnessed. What Simon saw. I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m. I went straight to Master Tanito's dressing room to say hello. Walkie went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later. Master Tanito's junior disciple, Ruendo, apparently didn't enter the room soon after. That's when Ruendo discovered Master Tanito's body. Now wait just a minute here, Prosecutor Blackwell. With testimony like that, you're practically accusing Mr. Wet of the crime. All I can do is state what I saw. I can't help how it appears. But a qualified and capable attorney such as you should be able to dispatch with it, right? Well, yeah, duh! All right, I guess I'd better start by getting all the info out of him that I can. Which means press every statement, because we got jack shit to work with. But first, I got food in the microwave, and I want to get it. Also, I need to get me some cold water. The water in my bottle I actually had setting out. And it's done got hot. Okay. Take a little bite of my food here right quick. Okay, what Simon saw. I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m.
Hold it!
Prosecutor Blackwell, what did you go to the theater for in the first place? I went because I had received an invitation from Master Tornado. Here, see for yourself. There's a special show commemorating his junior disciple Uendo's promotion. There was also an occasion to announce the boy's succession to the stage name of Uendo II. So what exactly does it mean to succeed to a stage name? You really don't know, do you? In performing arts, a name succession is when an artist inherits a predecessor's name. I see. But there was another Uendo Rakugo artist before, and this disciple succeeded him, huh? And what exactly did your invitation say? It contained a simple letter of salutation and an outline of the show's program. Oh, it appears Taifu Tornado was going to perform Tokisoba, or Time Soba. He's famous for a masterful pantomime of Itasoba, using only his fan as a prop. And Uendo was to perform Soba Sei, or Soba Glutton, a Soba-themed show, I see. It seems you know a thing or two about Rakugo yourself, your boldness. The first to perform was the senior disciple, Geru, followed by Uendo, and lastly, Master Tornado. I see. So that's why you happened to be at the Storyteller's Theater yesterday. So what happened after you arrived? I went straight to Master Tornito's dressing room to say hello.
Hold it!
And how did Master Tornito appear when you said hello to him? I went with the intention of greeting him, but ultimately we didn't actually meet. You didn't see him? Why not? Garu escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done. You heard Rakugo being performed in the dressing room? Yes, not just me, but Garu as well. In other words, you can confirm that the victim is still alive at around 4 p.m.? Correct. I couldn't hear him clearly through the doors, but I'm sure it was Master Tornito. I could tell because there was a time silver routine being performed in there. So that means the victim was killed sometime after that. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later.
Hold it!
Please tell us in detail how Mr. Wet appeared at the time. Garu and I were waiting in the hallway for Master Tornado to finish practicing, when Bucky appeared and entered the dressing room with his things. What happened after that? We heard what sounded like Bucky shouting inside the room. About 10 minutes later, Bucky came back out of the dressing room looking rather irate. Most likely the murder was committed. The victim was an elderly man. It would have been entirely possible to kill him within the span of 10 minutes. Ah! I better come up with some kind of counter-argument, and fast! Master Tornito's junior disciple Endo apparently then entered the room soon after. Oops!
Hold it!
What do you mean by apparently? Didn't you see him go in? No, I couldn't. I wasn't able to see the dressing room door from where I was standing at the time. But Garu was right in front of it, so I'm sure she saw it all. I see. And why do you suppose Endo went to the dressing room anyway? He had just finished his routine, so he was making a courtesy call. The disciples pay their master respect right before and after each performance. And all disciples are expected to do this? Yes, it's common courtesy among Rakugo artists. I see. Could you tell us what happened after Endo went into the dressing room? Certainly. That's when Endo discovered Master Tornito's body.
Hold it!
And how did Endo act at the time? As Endo had been in the dressing room for 2 or 3 minutes, we heard a scream from inside the room, and Endo came flying out. Did you hear any signs of a struggle at that time? No, just Endo's woeful scream. I see. Well done, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your testimony has given us quite a glimpse into the sequence of events. Thank you, Prosecutor Blackwell. And now, please allow me to summarize your testimony. While Prosecutor Blackwell and Garu were in the hallway waiting for Master Tornado, the accused came along and entered the dressing room with some items in tow. He was heard shouting for a time inside the dressing room, and about 10 minutes later he came back out of the room, seeming rather angry. A short time after the accused had come and gone, Endo Tornado went into the room. A few minutes later, after having discovered the victim's body, Endo gave a scream and came running out into the hallway from within. Prosecutor Blackwell and Garu then ran into the room and saw the body for themselves. From the circumstances, it is quite clear that the accused murdered the victim. This is crucial testimony indeed. Defense. An eyewitness has given conclusive testimony. Why not let it all go now and allow the victim his last rites? Not on your life! If Endo went into the dressing room too and was the first to discover the body, then who's to say he didn't commit the crime? Endo was in the dressing room for a mere 2, perhaps 3 minutes. He could not have possibly committed murder in that time, nor without making any noise. Oh, Simon! Why do you have to give that awful testimony? Prosecutor Blackwell, can't you give me something a little better to work with here? Isn't it up to you to ask the right questions? I am certainly willing to tell you all that I know. If you truly are as able as you claim, then draw out what you need yourself. This is no time for your twisted games, Prosecutor Blackwell. Just admit you don't remember it all that well.
さとら今おまどもさましでたし抜けたれがせよそろか
Prosecutor Blackwell, watching you collude with the defense like this, I see that you are no prosecutor. Be gone, witness! You shall haunt this sacred hall no more. How dare you treat me like some evil spirit to be exorcised? I'll remember this, you blackguard. Don't worry, Prosecutor Blackwell. I've got this. Would I have my way, he would not be the only one here to step down. Half-boiled putrid egg yolk! Ew! I object to the notion that I'm a gooey, smelly mess! Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony was like the lowly opening act of a Rakugo show. He may hold the title of prosecutor, but this time he stood on the side of the defense. To restore balance to this trial, I would like to present an actual witness for the prosecution. And who is this witness? The person who was with Prosecutor Blackwell when the body was discovered. She is another entertainer of the Tunido School, Miss Geru Tunido. Please state your name and occupation, witness. Hello, everyone. I'm here to represent the Tunido School with a twisty twist twist. And balloon! There you have it, a stunning balloon hat. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Geru Tonido. Call me Geru, sweetie. 1, 2... Balloon! Oh, God. What a way to capture your audience's attention! Seriously, I can't take my eyes off those balloons. Judge, please tell me you're talking about the hat, Your Honor. Oh, Mr. Judgy, I'm so glad you liked my performance. Would you consider joining my fan club? Pretty please. Oh, absolutely. And please save your fanboying for after the trial, Your Honor. Anyway, get her. I can't help but notice you seem awfully cheerful for having just lost your master. Of course I'm sad, but Shisho would scold me if I didn't put on a big smile. Never show sadness. Smile, smile, smile. With a twisty twist twist. And balloon. There you have it. One gorgeous cake. IEC. I guess an entertainer's gotta do what an entertainer's gotta do. Her balloon art's worse than a Rorschach test. All I saw was a severed monster head. Garu, you're obviously a balloon artist. How did you come to be a member of a Rakugo school? Well, my father, my late father that is, was a Rakugo artist, you see. So I joined the Rakugo school to be just like my daddy someday. I see. My father and I owe so much to Shisho, our master, for that Bucky wet. Ooh, how could he? I want to see him pay for what he's done as quickly as possible. The stress is entirely understandable, and my condolences for your loss. And not only that, but he... You have more to say about Mr. Wet? Every time he comes to deliver soba to us, he yells at me. He always tells me to get away. Was there any reason why he would say such a thing to you? He says the smell of my perfume will get into his soba and ruin it. Like, how can he say that? This is a great scent. How very rude of him. I don't blame you for being upset. Excuse me, Your Honor, but please don't let Geru's balloons bias your judgment. Mr. Wet hasn't been proven guilty yet, remember? It will be interesting to see how long that fire of yours will last, defense. Now then, Geru, please share the truth with this court. Yes, Geru, your testimony, please. Before the murder was discovered. From 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20 p.m. when Shisho's body was found, Simon and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Before Uendo discovered the body, the only person who had gone in there was Bucky. Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugemu was barking like mad. Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have any objections to this witness's testimony? No. Make up your bloody mind, sad Malcolm Satomati. First you exercise me, now this. You need only do as you are instructed by this humble servant of Holy Mother. As there are no objections, Your Honor, let us move on to the salvation of the...
Hold it!
Hey! I'm the defense attorney here, Prosecutor Sunmati, and I just might have an objection or two once I actually cross-examine the witness. So what are you asking Prosecutor Blackwell for? I'm the one you should be checking with. There is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Kuraianism. The stir of the wind is beyond the power of a spring chick. In other words, the inexperienced are useless. With that in mind, it seemed more judicious to consult Prosecutor Blackwell. He doesn't even see you as an adversary, Sykes Dono. Well, I won't let either one of you insult me. I'll show you I'm no inexperienced spring chick. Your Honor, I'm ready to cross-examine the witness. Hope you can make Prosecutor Sanmari see you as a worthy adversary, Miss Sykes. I'll allow your cross-examination, so you better strike while the iron is hot. Ah, jeez, my eye is itchy. Shigemu? That's my doggy. I keep him at the theater. Let's see. With a twisty twist! And boom, there you have it, my cute little Shigemu. He's kinda creepy looking. Oh, but he's a really good boy. And why was Shigemu barking? You think it's because he saw someone suspicious? If so, then we'd have a new suspect in this case. Now why was he barking again? Oh, I remember, because it was time for me to feed him. I went into his yard and gave him some food. Didn't somebody have slipped into the dressing room while you were doing that? Nope, the door out into the yard was wide open. I would have seen if anybody went into the dressing room. Prosecutor Blackwell, come down to the stand for a sec, please. How many times must I do this? You saw what Gary was talking about, right? So why didn't you mention it before? I can't be expected to remember every minute detail. Well, remember them now, please. Did Gary go out into the yard? Yes, I remember now that she went to feed Shigemu. I saw her looking towards the dressing room, quite frequently as well. Do you recall anything else? It looked as though she were feeding the dog a great quantity of dumplings or something. Shigemu couldn't finish them all, so he buried the rest in the corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. Looks like Gary was telling the truth. Your Honor, I'd like Gary's last statement added to your testimony. As you wish, defense. I was in the yard, but the door was wide open, so I could keep watch on the dressing room. Excuse me? How does that make sense? So, you were able to keep an eye on the dressing room while you were out in the yard. Is that correct? That's right. The door out into the yard was wide open. Sorry, but that makes zero sense. Take a look at this diagram of the backstage area. There's a clear contradiction between this diagram and the witness's testimony. Oh? I'm afraid I don't understand, Miss Sykes. Please point out what contradicts the witness's testimony.
Take that!
The door. Duh. Gary was in the yard near the doghouse. Prosecutor Blackwell even saw her there. And while she was out there, the door to the yard had been left open. Ah! I see! Yes, the door to the yard was wide open, as Gary said. It would have blocked her view, making it impossible for her to see the dressing room. What? No way! But even if there were admittedly a few moments Gary was not keeping watch, how much would that really affect this case? It would greatly affect the case. From the spot Prosecutor Blackwell stood, he couldn't see a dressing room door either. Anyone could have entered a dressing room during that time without being seen. Garu, why did you try to hide the fact that you weren't watching the dressing room? What?
Objection!
Hide the fact. You speak as though you think she has something to do with the murder. Rather than deliberate deception, it was more likely a simple oversight. Right, witness? Well, I was so shocked by what happened. I was just confused, that's all. Even though she is trying to keep up a brave front as an entertainer, the truth is that she is being torn apart by grief. For her mind to be in turmoil is hardly unexpected. Yes, it must be very difficult indeed. To a disciple, one's master is akin to a real parent. Surely her shock is immense. The way this lawyer tries to pin the blame on this poor soul at the first opportunity. All I can say is, defense attorneys are heartless creatures indeed. But I wasn't! That wasn't what I was trying to do! Is it beyond your comprehension, defense? Your unskilled argument is scarring this witness even further. And if we ask the people in this courtroom, I am sure they would agree. What? The gallery doesn't get a say in this! Are you afraid to find out that they think ill of you? Or that perhaps you are in the wrong? Listen to them now with that keen sense of hearing you are so proud of. He's right, that was harsh. You didn't have to go that far. I feel kind of sorry for the witness. And why is the lawyer's outfit so yellow? No, I was just trying to find the truth. Why is the whole gallery siding with Prosecutor Sagamati? The people understand. They know what is right, or what is wrong. That lawyer's still in training, isn't she? Why is she all by herself? I hear the voices of the gallery. I can hear the voices of their hearts. It's so intense. I feel so alone up here fighting by myself. Are you afraid, child? It is ludicrous to come to trial with such paltry preparation of the soul. I command you to leave this courtroom at once. But I can't give up. I have to keep pressing on. As long as there was a moment when nobody was watching the dressing room door, the defendant can't be convicted solely on Prosecutor Blackwell and Garu's testimonies. Even now, you will continue to resist. You are childish and defeat as well, I see. I'm not out for the court count yet, Buster. I'm just getting started. Despite your posturing, is it not true that your resolve could crumble at any moment? With but the little push, you would surely succumb to despair. A little push, such as with this piece of conclusive evidence. Conclusive evidence, huh? That is correct. We found a critical piece of evidence at the scene of the crime. The victim's dying message, which clearly implicates the accused, Bucky Wet. Look at these Japanese playing cards, known as karuta, lined up on the table. These special English version karuta cards spell out a message. That message, wet number 4. Wet number 4? You mean wet noodle number 4? Yes, wet noodle number 4. As the 4th head chef of Wet Soba is also known. This message points to none other than the accused, Bucky Wet. No! That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Wow, great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh no, this is really, really bad. What do I do? What do I do? Would you still carry on your futile fight in the face of this irrefutable evidence? You can say whatever you want, but we won't know until we... It's cruel to give the accused false hope. You will only compound his suffering. Wise people in the courtroom, do you not agree? He's right. It's cruel to make them suffer when there's conclusive evidence. What an incompetent nude! I feel bad for the victim and the defendant. What? But I'm trying to prove Mr. Wet's innocence here! I know you can hear the defense. Their voices implore you to save the accused's soul. It is time for you to let it go and move on, you experienced lawyer. You lack confidence with which to accomplish anything meaningful here. Is he right? Is this too much for me to handle on my own? What good is she doing anybody? She should just quit right now. Now, defense, leave everything to this humble servant of the Lord.
Silence!
He's trying to use your keen sense of hearing against you to manipulate the trial, Athena. What a cheap trick for a supposedly holy man. Simon! And you flop-doodles in the gallery. Can a man watch a trial in peace? This inexperienced amateur is about to turn the trial around. Does that prosecutor really think she can turn things around? The mood in this courtroom is starting to change. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you doing at the defense's bench? I grew bored of watching from the gallery. Besides, if I were to leave this trial to this spring chick and lose my favorite soba shop in the process, I would be quite cross. You voluntary stand the side of impunity and sin. Truly, what a fume fool you are. To think you were so easily manipulated by his parlor tricks. Whatever happened to qualified and capable Athena? I just let my guard down a little bit, but it won't happen again. Gird up your loins and steel yourself for battle. I'm not girding up anything in this skirt, but I am ready to get serious. Guessing there is now yet another soul I must cast down into hell. I was in prison for a long time, and hell sounds no worse than cell, to be honest. Ah, but the fires of hell will not be the end of your suffering. For the sin you have committed, you shall surely be reborn as a panda in one's life. A white and black reverse panda, that is. You shall be put in a zoo to be exposed to public ridicule. A threat like that won't work on Prosecutor Blackwell. After all, he's already used to looking like a panda in this life. Who are you calling a panda? Sorry. I say you that you are both ready to face the fire of damnation. Gary, thank you for your service. You may step down now. Okie dokie. Bye-bye, Balloon. Does everything have to be about balloons with her? Now then. I have a witness prepared to testify about the Karuta cause. And who is the witness this time? The first to discover the body, as someone who witnessed the crime scene firsthand. Is Uendo Tonito. The time has come for that ponytail pair over there to finally let it all go and move on. Very well. Let's bring in this witness then. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I am the Rakugo storyteller, Uendo Tonito. Even if my performance isn't worth watching, I will certainly watch my words. I wouldn't want to say anything thoughtless and get arrested. After all, that'd be a Rakunono. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Hold it!
You can't leave yet. You've only just introduced yourself. Oh, my. Are you a fan of mine, miss? Would you like my autograph? One moment. Ow! What do you think you're doing? No need to stand on ceremony. My fan deserves a fan, after all. Oh, God, that's horrible. A fan for a fan! Nice one! Oh, why, if it isn't Simon! How are you on this fine day, sir? Quite a dilly of a pickle we found ourselves in, wouldn't you say? I don't believe I've ever seen you talk quite so much, Uendo. Never performed in a place like this, you know. I got butterflies here, can't you see? Why do I always get the weird ones? Pardon me, witness. As much as I enjoy your banter, I believe we had better return to the case at hand. I suppose you're right. In that case... I was promoted to Futsume yesterday and received the stage name of Uendo. The show was our way of celebrating my new name and middle rank standing. And then that happened. I never dreamed something like that happened, not in a million years. And just as I got my chance to start repaying my debt to Shisho, too. Yeah, plus I'm worried about Geru. The way she clung to Shisho, poor thing, it's hard to keep a stiff upper lip. Stiff like rigor mortis. Keep telling those lame jokes and Shisho will come scold you from the grave. I wouldn't mind getting yelled at, you know, if it meant seeing him again. Uendo, please. As charming as your various characters are, this isn't a Rakugo stage. Let us hear your testimony now, witness. It's not characters. He's got, what, dissociative identity disorder or something like that? Or something of that nature. Let us hear your testimony now, witness. Tell the court about the evidence left at the scene, and proof of the accused's guilt. Shisho's dying message. I noticed Shisho's dying message right away. The stiff cards were right there next to the stiff, you see. Hey now, enough with the silly puns already. Hehe. Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky. That was the master's final message, left as he was drowning in soba broth. It's so like Shisho not to write Bucky's name outright. Plain and simple wasn't his style. Well, that was certainly a more entertaining testimony than usual. The variety of characters performed by the witness was absolutely splendid. Again, it's not an act. But he shouldn't be performing any characters in the first place, Your Honor. And Uendo, the murder weapon hasn't been determined yet. So how can you say that the victim was drowned in soba broth? It's obvious. All you have to do is look at the crime scene. He was found with his face shoved in a bowl. It's only natural to assume he was drowned in the broth for the noodles. Except we're not here to assume things, Uendo, so please stick to just the facts. My, it's so like a soba chef to kill someone this way, wouldn't you say? And with the Karuta message he left behind, it's clear Bucky Wet did it. Setting aside the issue of the murder weapon for now, that dying message certainly does seem to be irrefutable evidence. Indeed, it proves the absolute guilt of the accused. Even I've got to admit that I can't see how that message could mean anything else. Bucky used soba for the deed, all to get back the soba shop deed. This testimony makes Mr. Wet look super guilty. I have to do something. That's his conclusive evidence. What a farce. What do you mean, Simon? What's this? I thought you said you weren't planning on asking me for help. I did, and I won't, thank you very much. Simon must have found an inconsistency in the testimony. I'd better listen carefully, and try to see what he found. I noticed Shisho's dying message right away. The stiff cards were right there next to the stiff, you see. Hey now, enough with the silly puns already, hehe! Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky. That was the master's final message, left as he was drowning in soba broth. He didn't drown, though. There was nothing in his lungs.
Objection!
There's a contradiction in Uendo's testimony. And would you care to explain where, Miss Sykes? Certainly, Your Honor. According to the autopsy report, nothing unusual was found in the victim's lungs. Ah, yes, it does say that, doesn't it? If he had drowned in a bowl of soba, then there should have been soba broth in his lungs. But since there wasn't any, it means the victim was suffocated with something other than soba broth. What? This is the contradiction you noticed, isn't it, Simon? Not bad. Not bad at all. I guess I showed you. The drowning in the soba broth wasn't the cause of death. Then when was the victim's face thrust into that bowl? Taishi Chidito's face was thrust into that bowl after his murder. because no soba broth was discovered in the victim's lungs. His head must have been placed into the bowl after he was killed. And that's when the soba broth must have been spilled onto the Karuta cards. In other words, the victim could not have lined the cards up as he was drowning. Let's see. It was done after he was already dead. So why would the culprit do such a thing? I'm afraid I don't know.
Objection!
You boast of psychological expertise, yet you cannot determine such a simple motive. My sides are liable to split at the absurdity. What? And I suppose you know why? Of course. Desecrating the body in that manner indicates a strong sense of enmity on the part of the perpetrator. Yes, that does make sense. It certainly paints a clear picture of the culprit's intense feelings toward the victim. Feelings of resentment over the theft of the soba shop's deed, no doubt. Just great. Now the judge has an even more unfavorable impression.
Silence!
Must you come undone at every juncture? If the culprit had time enough to set up Master Tomoya's body, do you think they would have honestly failed to notice the dying message? Good point. The cards were right in front of his body, after all. Rationally speaking, there's no way the culprit could have missed that.
Objection!
Ah, but was the accused rational at the time, given the way he stormed?
Silence!
Never mind that. I have something more important to ask you at that. Me? You saw the Karuta cards firsthand, did you not? Would you care to tell us about them in a bit more detail? Those tiny crime scene photos show us precious little of what I wish to know. Well, those cards are from Shisho's special soba scenes of Tokyo Pass set. Each card is related in some way to soba. Spare me the history lesson. Just tell me how the cards looked at the scene and no more. Well, there was soba broth spilled all over them. That's not much help, I'm afraid. Prosecutor Sadmati, do you have a photo that shows the cards more clearly? I do. Please accept this meager offering, Your Honor. Oh my, what delightful looking cards! Well, well. And Prosecutor Sad and Monk's conclusive evidence part should be a breeze with this. Huh? Don't tell me you haven't noticed. Don't be silly. Of course I have! Not noticed anything, but I can't exactly say that now, can I? Miss Sykes, do you really see a problem with the prosecution's claim about these cards? Well, go on then. Alright, it's do or die time. All I have to do is study the picture and these cards were rearranged. These cards were rearranged. How can you tell? The stain mark. Please take a good look at these cards, Your Honor. The answer is right in front of us. Where exactly should we be looking, Miss Sykes? The soba broth stains. Please focus your attention on the soba broth stains on these cards. The outline of these stains don't match up with the larger stain on the table. Hello, Lukey. Welcome to the live stream. Oh, would you look at that? You're absolutely right! And? Please recall that the soba broth was spilled and got on the cards after the murder, when the victim's face was placed in the bowl. Yes, go on. By the stains, we can see that the culprit deliberately rearranged the cards after that. In other words, this message was altered in order to pin the crime on my client. What? But then, if we put the cards back in their original positions, we can restore the evidence and see who the cards were really pointing towards. That's true. Poku! Then what are we waiting for? Let's do this. All I had to do is rearrange the cards so that stains match up. You recently got into Ace Attorney? I'm glad you're enjoying it. Let's see here. Where was this W card originally? Perfect. Okay, the H card is next. Let's see here. Where was this H card originally? Now the E card. Let's see here. Where was this E card originally? Right here. A perfect match! Next up is the T card. Let's see. Where was this T card originally? Right here. Great, that fits right in there. Now the N card. Let's see here. Where was this N card originally? Right here. There, that looked good. Now O. Let's see. Where was this O card originally? Which one is this, if I may ask? This is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. It is the third game in the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy collection. It is also the second game that released on the Nintendo 3DS when the 3DS was still in its prime.
Take that!
So the message, wet in number 4, was originally supposed to say Owen Forth. And this original message is a clue to the identity of the true culprit. What?! Look on Prosecutor's sad monk's face is positively priceless. For Apollo Justice, cool. He's a protege of Phoenix, right? Yes, he is! This is absurd! It was originally Owen Forth? It wasn't wet number 4? Maybe the lawyer is smarter than we thought. Order! Order in the court! Well, I never would imagine that there was more to these cards than meets the eye. Oh, now that's settled. What does this Owen Forth mean? Wait, am I? Who else do you suppose is to provide an explanation? Of course it's you! But I hadn't thought that far yet. Change the cards around all you'd like, but if you cannot explain what the message means, then it is as worthless as you are, Defense. No! So the spring chick that fancies herself a graceful swan is brought back down to earth. Have to do something, but what? Still your thoughts for a second. There's a perfectly good eyewitness to question over there. Oh, right, that's a good idea. Come on, Athena, get a hold of yourself. Window, does the phrase Owen Forth mean anything to you? No, there's no one named Owen in the Tomoya family, or our circle of friends. Go ahead, ask anybody you'd like. You can't be serious. Having rummaged through your empty mind, I see you have, as expected, turned up nothing.
Silence!
I'm afraid I have no idea who the devil this Owen Forth is, either. But the fact remains that the cards were rearranged to place the blame on Mr. Wet. That in itself proves that the defendant isn't the real culprit. Prosecutor Blackwell is right. Besides, the important question here is not who does this the message point to, but rather, who rearranged the cards? I need to point that out earlier if you already knew. So sorry. In any case, there were two opportunities for someone to rearrange the cards. The first was when Mr. Wet entered the dressing room, and the second was when Uendo discovered the body. Are you accusing me of rearranging the cards? Me, who came to testify out of the goodness of my heart! You didn't exactly come running out screaming straight away, did you? Me in 2 or 3 minutes is more than enough time to get up to some devil. So what exactly were you doing in there, Uendo? Put down the tea and spit out your answer! Ah! Mr. Prosecutor! What's a guy supposed to do at a time like this? Silence is more precious than diamonds. Therefore, you need only stay silent. Sometimes the thieves, they are waiting for you to make a slip of the tongue. Oh, I see. So that's what they're after, is it? In that case, Your Honor, I've decided not to say another word. Very good. After all, your right to remain silent is protected by law. Well, Prosecutor Blackpool, any other brilliant ideas you'd like to share? Did you hear that, Slick Soul? A Rakugo artist who's afraid to speak! Who's ever heard of such a thing? Are you trying to taunt him into talking? The petty trick will never work. That's right. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm only asking to hear your story. Besides, it's not your job to tell your tales if there is an audience to listen. Even so, I have the right to refuse to answer. The more you keep quiet, the more we want you to talk. That's simply human nature. Isn't that right? People of the gallery? Even with this wonderful audience in front of you, you still refuse to talk? If so, then perhaps you chose the wrong line of work, my friend. Are you saying I should quit? Because I'm not afraid to speak my mind, I'll have you know. Oh no, never mind what I just said! It is scary to talk, it's absolutely terrifying! But no, as a Rakugo artist, I must talk. If I don't, how could I ever show my face on stage again? Your Honor, I'm ready to testify. He did it! He managed to convince Uendo with his power suggestion technique. Bully for you, Uendo. That's as a real Rakugo artist should be. This guy needs to make up his mind. Yes, he does! Alright, if the witness wishes to testify, then by all means, please do. To be turned by such an obvious ploy, what a man of weak spirit. In the dressing room. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. From what I can tell, there do not appear to be any inconsistencies in his testimony. Of course there aren't any, because I'm not trying to hide anything. Prosecutor Sanmari's right. I don't see anything inconsistent either, but I did pick up on some faint discord in Uendo's heart. Ponder all you would like, defense, but it is pointless. Your Honor, I believe there is no need for further deliberation.
Hold it!
I disagree, Your Honor. I detected discord in the voice of the witness's heart. That's a clear indication that Uendo is facing some sort of inner turmoil. Are you saying what I think you're saying, Miss Sykes? Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to conduct a quick therapy session on this witness. Uendo, there is no need for you to submit to this so-called therapy. It's fine by me. I have nothing to hide. Bring it on. Impetuous fool! Why will you not listen to the guidance of this humble servant of the Holy Mother? If the witness wishes to proceed, I see no problem, prosecutor. In one ear and out the other. It seems this reformer has no need for your so-called guidance, prosecutor sad monk. Just know this, Uendo, your folly will surely earn you divine retribution. Thanks, Simon. I'm going to make the most of this opportunity you created for me. Just keep your wits about you. I will. Uendo, could you tell us again about what happened in the dressing room? So, do all prosecutors, defense attorneys in this game have a special power or something to help with cases, or is it only with specific people? Actually, when it comes to the defense attorneys, yes, they do have all special powers. With the Magatama that Phoenix Wright has, he could basically see the inner secrets of a person's heart. He could basically break those locks their heart to in order to get even more crucial testimony. With Apollo Justice, he could see the little ticks and the nervous ticks that people can do with his special eyes, as well as the power of his bracelet that tightens every time someone gives off a nervous tick. And Athena Sykes here, she could basically hear when someone has some sort of discord or stress inside their heart. So she could use the power of Widget to basically determine their true feelings. Observe! Mm-hmm. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. Why are you not surprised about this? You were sad, yes, but you weren't shocked. You were the first person to find the body, after all. Uendo, I'm noticing something strange with these emotions. Something stranger with cheese and cheesy toe skin, you say? No, something strange with these emotions. How could you have heard something stranger with cheesy toe skin? I don't know. Maybe it's me who's got some cheese in my ears. Did he will the floor to open up and swallow his cushions out of shame for that bad joke? The point I'm trying to make is that I noticed something unexpected in your emotions. Now stop hiding and come out where we can see you. Bailiff, please bring the witness a few replacement cushions. Too many! So what was this unexpected thing you noticed? Oh, come on! His honor said a few cushions, not a few dozen! Now that we've all had a good laugh, please continue, Miss Sykes. Who's laughing? Focus, Athena. Don't let yourself get rattled. When you entered the room and saw your master slumped motionless over the table, you weren't the least bit shocked, Uendo. Don't you think that's a little odd? Is it, though? The lack of surprise means you were prepared for what you saw. I mean, I'm laughing, and I think I know why. The reason Uendo wasn't shaken when he saw his master's dead body is because he knew about his master's death. Uendo, I think maybe the reason you weren't shaken was because you already knew you would find your master dead. What? What kind of a thing is that to say? You got it all wrong. Oh, right. I just remembered something. I thought Shisho was just sleeping when I first saw him. Hee. You thought he was sleeping? It sounds plausible, but... What made you think he was asleep? Well, he had his head and arms up on the table, as if he were taking a nap. Oh, and one other thing. There was that note, too. A note? What note? Ah, you must be talking about this. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting. Do not disturb. Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisho was napping? That is a pretty reasonable assumption. You've got to be kidding me. That's right. I saw this note, so that's why I thought Shisho was asleep. I want to change my testimony to include that statement. Alright, I'll run an update. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. But something seemed off, so I rushed over to him. Why are you angry?
Got it!
Uendo, I noticed something funny in your emotions again. Funny, you say? I guess an entertainer of my caliber can make people laugh, even with my emotions. I didn't mean that kind of funny, quite the opposite, actually. When you entered the dressing room, I see that you suddenly felt anger. What I want to know is, what made you feel angry all of a sudden? What? Let's see. Oh yeah, now I remember. As I was going in, I whacked my little piggy on something. I was annoyed at my own clumsiness. Wait, you mean you stubbed your pinky toe? Just a little bump on my little piggy. No big deal. It's embarrassing, really. Sounds more like he's hiding something. I better dig a bit deeper. No need to be embarrassed, Orlando, but I'm afraid it's something we do need to look into. I don't really see anything you could have stubbed your toe on. In the area around the dressing room door of this picture. maybe there was something there at the time. I get that pain, but I don't think that's what's happening. True. Maybe there was something there at the time. Window, what exactly did you stub your toe on? What an irrelevant question. You dishonor the soul of the victim with these unnecessary delays. You tell her. Really, who doesn't stub their toe every once in a while? You really gotta fuss over every small detail like this? Well, the thing is... even the most subtle of fluctuations in a person's psyche can clue us in to the truth. That's why it's important to get to the bottom of this question. Plus, if I back down now, who knows what new insults Simon will hurl my way. Is there really no trace left of what Ueno stubbed his toe on by the door? What in the world might have been there then, but is not there now? The TV? Yeah, the TV, because there's this huge-ass trail leading from the TV all the way over here, where the door should be at. So why would the TV be over there? Please take a good look at this photo of the crime scene. Do you see it? This long track that goes from the door all the way across the room? Now that you mention it, I do see traces of something getting dragged, and the drag mark ends there, at the TV. This implies that the TV was originally by the door. I'm convinced that this TV is the object the witness stubbed his toe on. Well, Ueno, how about it? Yes, you're right. It was the TV. There, the noise level dropped again. Yes, I stubbed my pinky toe on the TV. But what of it? Why is this so important to you? Well, the noise went down, but it hasn't completely disappeared yet, which means he's still hiding something. Okay, then let's try this tactic instead. Ueno, why was the TV moved there? Shisho must have moved it so he could watch my routine. But what a place to put it! Right in the middle of the doorway like that. Is it a bad thing if the noise level... hang on, I can't really see what you're saying here. Hang on. What was your question? Pull it up here. Is it a bad thing if the noise level drops? Actually, no. It's actually a good thing. It means we're getting closer to the truth of what's going on, what he's trying to hide. And hide. It's actually a good thing that the noise level is dropping. If it raised, now that would actually be brought into question, because that means he's desperately trying to hide something. Right in the middle of the doorway like that. I didn't want to bump into it again, so I put it back where it belonged. And that's another thing Athena can do? Yes! Performances on stage can be viewed in the dressing room using a TV. That's right, it's a closed-circuit monitor that shows the stage. I see. Now what? I can't find anything else out of place. I still haven't gotten the noise level down to 0 yet. Simon, I'm still getting noise here, but I don't see anything else fishy. This is precisely why amateurs are such a bother. Sorry. I'm in no mood to play nursemaid here, but if that's what it takes to save the soba shop. Hoi, Ueno. Here's a curiosity for you. This table Master Tonito is slumped over. Looks like it was moved. Did you happen to bump into it while you were moving the TV back? Oh my! Yes, you're right! The TV hit the table, and Shisho's body moved with a jolt. That's when I first realized that Shisho was dead. Oh, but how scared I was! I see. Thank you. We're finally getting a more precise picture of how the body was discovered. But I wager you need to put the spurs to Ueno just a trifle longer. Right! I can't keep asking Simon to bail me out like this. It's time for me to regain my footing and really stand on my own. Ueno, what you said just now about discovering your master's death, could you please describe all of that again for the court in detail? Alright. But before you do, let me just plug in the latest information. Ah! Ooh! Itchy! After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. Also, Uendo is massively underrated as a character. Oh yeah, very underrated, but his character is so good. It's written so well. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. I tried to enter the dressing room, but stubbed my toe on the TV. Have you played this before? Yes, I have. When I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized that Shisho was dead. Oh, telephone! Give me a second. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table. Oh, Shisho. Why are you so surprised? Like, why did your surprise go even higher? That's odd. After the initial shock of finding the victim dead, you reacted with surprise again. What was it that surprised you, Uendo, besides your master's death? What do you mean? What's more, you were even more surprised the second time than the first. What could have surprised you more than finding your late master? Curse me, your little thingy must have made a mistake. The girl is as sharp as a trout, to be sure. But her ability to hear people's emotions is absolute. Now get to remembering, Uendo. What was it that surprised you? That was a compliment, right? Well, Oh my god! The noise level went up higher. No, we pushed him too hard and now he's mentally all over the place. His emotions are completely out of control. Out of control? Can't explain how that's irrelevant. You know how normally I listen for the hidden emotions in a witness's voice, right? From there, I look for inconsistencies between their testimony and those emotions. Sometimes personal feelings can run too high, making it hard to get proper readings. But that's how your matrix program works. Fascinating. Ordinarily, it's just one emotion that runs out of control, but it seems there's nothing ordinary about this time. Oh my god. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. It can be. It can be very bad. It's like, it's hard to explain. And this one is like, we gotta figure out exactly what could be causing his out of control emotions. I tried to enter the dressing room, but he stubbed my toe on the TV. When I put the TV back in its normal spot, I realized that Shisho was dead. Seeing him slumped over that cluttered table. Oh, Shisho. I knew it! What's got your knickers all in a bunch now? Uendo has multiple emotions running out of control at the same time. I've never seen anything like this, ever! So how does one bring a situation like this back under control? I'll have to find the root cause of this tangled mess before I can treat him. If I can identify what is causing this emotional rampage, then I can probe to dive in further. I'll need to point to what I think is the root cause and hit probe again. Through this process, I can identify exactly what's causing Uendo so much distress. And that will help bring his emotions back under control. In that case, let's get started, shall we? Alright, I can't guarantee success, but it's definitely worth a shot. Time to look for the root cause of Uendo's rampaging emotion. It's the cards, obviously. It's the cards. Something about the cards spooked him. I get it now. The cards were the root of it all. Don't try to deny it. You can't hide your feelings from me. The dying message that was left at the scene of the crime is what was causing your distress. and if the dying message was the cause of all those feelings, then that means the phrase Owen Forth must mean something to you! Ugh. And there we go. We got to the bottom of what he was hiding. There! Noise level 0. Finally! The dying message consists of 2 words, Owen and Forth. But neither of these 2 words have anything to do with this witness. This topic warrants no further argument. Sure, there may not seem to be any direct connection between the innuendo and the message. For now. But why don't you wait and decide what's necessary after you hear my theory? Trust you've hit upon something, Athena? Yep, if my theory is right, we can finally solve the case of the window and the mysterious Owen Forth. Go on, then. I can already tell this promises to be interesting. Now, please share your theory with the court, Miss Sykes. There was something puzzling to me about Uendo's out-of-control emotions just now. Namely, that there were 3 distinct reactions present. I had never seen that before, and I wondered how it could be possible. Is there a conclusion to this mismeandering, mismusing of yours? Hold your horses, I'm getting there. So, could a person flip between 3 distinct emotions of such intensity like a switch? In the end, I concluded that it just wasn't possible. Ha 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 ha! So that's it, is it? A bit unconventional, but I'll grant that it's possible within the realm of psychology. Within the realm of psychology? I'm afraid you'll have to explain it for the old man up here on the bench. Your Honor, my theory is that Uendo has multiple personalities. With so many distinct personas, it's clear to me that Uendo has dissociative identity disorder. What does that even mean? Your Honor, the defense would treat this trial as a child's jest. Multiple personality disorder? A preposterous proposition indeed. Would you not agree, witness? How does she know? How does she figure it out? Pokunka! I can't believe it. I did it! I did it, Simon! I've read papers on it before, but I think I'd see a case of it for myself. Blimey. So he's got DID? Yep! He's got DID! Rokugo artists tell stories as different characters, but as different personalities? Hey, you, lawyer girl! Got a problem with us, huh? No, no problem at all. This is all very hard to believe. Now that we've established that the witness has multiple personalities, could each of them please introduce themselves to this court? Uendo Tonito. I'm a Rokugo storyteller, as you know. Hello, everybody! Patches, the friendly jester here! Kisagawa, courtesan. Is that all of you? Yes, that's all of us. So there are 3 personalities in total. Uendo, Patches, and Kisagawa, huh? Well, Simon, what do you think now? That's your one lucky duck. Let's be glad they were dense enough to help you out. Can't you just straight up say I did great for a change? You appear to be quite proud of your self-defense, but all you have done is infringe upon the privacy of the witness. I couldn't disagree more, prosecutor. Now that we know that there are 3 personalities, a new way for us to interpret the meaning of a certain piece of evidence has arisen. A new interpretation? Ooh, now I'm very curious. What is this piece of evidence you're talking about, Miss Sykes? Knowing what we know about Uendo and his personalities, this now makes perfect sense.
Take that!
The cards. Mentioning the name Owen and Forth means he has a 4th personality named Owen. The Karuta cards? That's right, Your Honor. Recall the original dying message left at the scene. We didn't have a clue as to what Owen Forth could have possibly meant. But now, with this new information about Uendo and his personalities, isn't it possible that Owen Forth actually means a secret 4th personality of Uendo's? A personality named Owen? Yep. What? Pukunka! Uendo must have kept this dissociative identity disorder from us because he didn't want to be associated in any way with that dying message. No, that's not why. We kept our disorder a secret for a different reason altogether. We've been taking advantage of our affliction to act out various Rakugo characters. If word of this got out, well, our reputation as a Rakugo artist would be tarnished, as would the Tornado name. That's why we kept it a secret from everyone except members of the Tornado school. But really, there is no fourth personality. It's just the three of us in here. A plausible enough sounding story. But it doesn't prove you didn't rearrange the cards, does it? But I will concede that it's highly likely that the witness rearranged the cards. Is Prosecutor Sanmari actually agreeing with us? However, is it not also possible that the Fuse killed Master Tornado? And then left that message in order to frame the witness? Ah! And upon noticing the cards when he found the victim's body, the window rearranged.
Silence!
A fantastic tale, but a tale nonetheless. No one outside the Tornado school knew about Uendo's multiple personalities. Uendo just finished saying so himself. That is a true but untimely, meaningless point. The witness was only in his dressing room for 2 to 3 minutes. That's far too little time to commit murder, would you say?
Objection!
Then who's to say he couldn't have done it before his discovery?
Objection!
That spring chick memory of yours. Have you already forgotten Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony? Simon's testimony? Oh! Geru escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done. That's right. Until just a few moments before Uendo entered the dressing room, Taifu Tornado was confirmed to still be alive! Ah! No! Only that, but Uendo was on stage until just before he discovered the body. A bulletproof alibi that I have already confirmed with several audience members. Oh no! I also heard that his Rakugo performance that day was a steaming pile of... well, you get the picture. Yes, I'm afraid so. Really stunk up the stage I did. Hehe. I know it. I know Athena, but I can tell that everyone's trying to keep it together. Yep. And yet, I have a perfect alibi. Indeed, I not land the coup de grace on the defense by describing your alibi witness. Okie dokie smoky! Windows alibi. I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. The entire audience was my witness. But my performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed. I'll never be able to live down how terribly I bombed during that very important show. Uendo was on stage before he found the body, so he could not have committed this crime. It's time to let it all go, defense, and move on. Well, get this, Prosecutor Sanmari. The Right Anything Agency never gives up. We fight to the bitter end. Allow me to say this once more. Let it go and move on. And allow me to say once more, I'm never giving up. Let it go and never! This is pointless. You should have taken advantage of this opportunity while you could, you foolish child. Your worthless convictions only serve to prolong the accused's suffering. If words will not sway you, then perhaps pain will. Oh no! Anything but this!
Satorai Maomando mo samashi de tashi no ketare gase yo soro ka!
What's the big idea, Prosecutor Satomati! That was but a small dose of punishment for your misguided convictions. Are you now a bit more inclined to give up as instructed? Did they just threaten the defense? Yes, they did! As if! In that case, you must require another dose. Not bloody likely. I don't give two flips about your beliefs, but if Psych Stoner were to submit to you here, I won't be able to eat good soba anymore. Is that even allowed? Apparently in this world it is! That's right! For Mr. Wet's future and Prosecutor Blackwell's stomach. I will never give up! You will rue those words, defense. Of that I can assure you. I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. The entire audience was my witness. But my performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed.
Hold it!
What did you perform? Do you have any idea what went wrong? I'm not sure if it was my performance, or if it was just that particular audience. Or maybe it was the story I picked. But every entertainer knows that this kind of thing happens from time to time. I guess that makes sense. Still, I wonder how he could have flopped at his own commemorative show. Maybe I should dig into things a bit more. What did you perform? Could you tell me which Bakugo story you performed? I could, but I'm not sure if it would mean anything to the uninitiated. Well, even if I might not get it, can't you at least try me? Alright, if you insist. The story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Time Soba, huh? Maybe Wendo's right. He's only said the name of the routine and I'm already lost. So you performed Time Soba, did you? What? You know it, Prosecutor Satomati? In the course of my studies last night, I became familiar with a number of stories. I must say, defense, you would do well to prepare better for your next trial. Simon, what's Time Soba about? Look it up yourself. Allow me to give an overview. The story takes place on a winter's night. A man orders a bowl of soba at a street stall. How you doing, sir? What can I get for you? I see you've got seaweed-topped hanamaki soba and mixed topping. I have a bowl of shippoku, my good man. Sure is cold tonight, isn't it? But there's nothing like a hot bowl of noodles and soup to warm the soul. You know it, sir. One shippoku coming right up. So how's business? Not so great, sir. Is that so? Well, that's great, because things can only get better from here, right? Wow, prosecutor! The customer talks on and on like this. Finally, when he is done eating, he goes to pay for his soba. How much do I owe you? That'll be 16 mon, sir. I see. Sorry, but I only have small change on me. I'll count the coins into your palm, so could you hold out your hand for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, what time is it? It's 9, sir. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Thanks, and bye. Very well done, Prosecutor Satomati. That was excellent. Huh? I don't get it. What was so funny about that? Don't you see? The customer paid with coins, counting them out one by one. Then, just after counting 8, he asked about the time. And the soba vendor answered with 9. Oh, now I get it! He made the vendor say 9, and then he continued counting from 10. So he gave him one, mon too short. Exactly, he cheated the soba vendor out of 1 mon. Let us smooth talking. The story continues with another man who saw the whole thing and tries to do the same. But he bungles the trick and ends up paying more than 16 mon for his soba. The story ends on that as the punchline. You can look up the rest of the details yourself. Or I'm sure Prosecutor Sad Monk over there would love to perform it for you after court. So basically, it's a story about a man cheating on his soba bill. That's kind of petty, isn't it? Is that really all you have to say about this classic story? Time Soba is such a well-known staple of Bakugo that the skill of the artist...
Objection!
Fine, so you studied a lot. Well, we haven't the time for a lecture detour right now, Prosecutor Sad Monk. Oh, I wanted to hear a little more. I suppose it is an off topic. Getting back to the matter at hand, Miss Sykes, the witness stated that the story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Would you like to add this statement to his testimony? Should I have that statement added to his testimony? Have it added! Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have it added. Very well. The story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Sorry, I had to send a message to a friend. I had sent them something in the mail, and Amazon just sent me a message saying it was delivered. Okay, so that's wrong because he's supposed to have done Soba Glutton, not Time Soba.
Objection!
Wendo, isn't there something odd about the routine you performed? Odd? Oh, I don't think there's anything odd about it. But that's exactly what I find odd. The fact that you don't think it.
Objection!
We're discussing the witness's alibi at the moment, defense. The show's program is completely irrelevant.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong, Prosecutor Satomati. The reason being, it contradicts the statement the witness just made. Wendo, do you know what this is? No. What is it? This is an invitation to the show sent from Master Tonito to Prosecutor Blackwell. Included in the invitation is a rundown of the show's program, which clearly states that Time Soba was to be performed by Master Tonito himself! No! Wendo, why did you perform the routine your master was scheduled to do? Well, you see, the reason for that is... How do I say this? You see, let's say it was a prank. That's right, it was just a little joke, you see. I was trying to surprise Shisho perform his routine before he did. I don't know if I buy that. Was doing the victim's routine really just for laughs, or... Hey, didn't Simon happen to hear Time Soba coming from the dressing room? During Uendo's performance on stage? It seems like too much of a coincidence. Wait, can it be? What's the matter? You look like a hen with a dozen eggs to lay. Stop comparing me to birds! See if this bird brain timidity. It's something that hasn't occurred to you. You can lay it out for us. Don't breed resentment at those watching your performance. Okay! I don't have a ton of confidence in this theory, but here goes. It looks like Uendo's alibi checks out, Your Honor, but even though he was on stage at the time, he may have been trying to obfuscate a crucial detail about this case. Are you referring to the Soba Bill the man tried to skimp on in the witness's story? I'm not talking about the Rakugo story, Your Honor. Oh, I'm sorry, but then what are you talking about, Miss Sykes? What Uendo may have been trying to deceive us about was the time of the victim's death. Uendo tried to deceive us about the time of the victim's death. What?
Objection!
What gibberish? Prosecutor Blackwell even testified to the time of the victim's death. I know, but he only testified that way because he and Garu had been completely taken in. You mean by the Soba Bill thing? Stop with forget about the Soba Bill thing, Your Honor. Would you please forget about the story for a second, Your Honor? I was deceived. Pray tell, how did Uendo manage to deceive two people while he was performing on stage? That's easy. All he had to do was use a certain prop in the dressing room. Oh? What might that be? The prop Uendo used was the TV.
Take that!
The TV was used to view what was happening on the stage. Prosecutor Blackwell, when you came to the dressing room, what was Uendo doing? He was performing Time Soba. Blast! Could it be? Yes, it could, and it was. What you and Garu heard was not Master Tornado practicing his routine. It was Uendo's performance, as heard through this TV monitor speakers. What? With the TV just outside the inner door of the dressing room, it could easily be heard from the hallway outside. And because we knew that Master Tornado was scheduled to perform Time Soba, we were easily manipulated into thinking he was still alive at the time rehearsing. Yes, your knowledge of the day's program is why the two of you could be fooled this way. Simon, did the voice you hear belong to Master Tornado? The voice in the way, I couldn't tell exactly who the voice belonged to. But because I heard Time Soba, I just assumed it was Master Tornado. I can't believe I was taken in by such a simple mind game! All that is mere conjecture! Where's your proof, Professor? Uendo moved the TV back when he discovered the body. After all, he couldn't very well leave it by the door, because then someone might figure out the trick he'd been playing. And there's one more thing about Uendo's actions that's suspicious. And that is the fact that he flopped so badly on such an important occasion. What's so suspicious about that? Even pros slip up once in a while, you know. But I believe that this time it was intentional. Because Uendo knew it'd be strange to hear laughter coming from the dressing room. Oh my! Yikes! It's all just a bit too perfect to be sheer coincidence. Plus, if the voice Prosecutor Blackwell and Garu heard was due to Uendo's scheming, then the victim's time of death could have been earlier than 4 p.m. In other words, Uendo could have killed Master Tornado himself! We've got you by the stones now, Uendo, so you'd better confess everything! Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? We demand an explanation! Uendo! I confess. I tampered with the crime scene. Is it the defense's claim that Uendo Tornado is a true murderer in this case? If he tampered with the crime scene, then we have to at least consider him a suspect. Now wait just 1 minute. Yes, I admit to messing with the dressing room, but I didn't kill Shisho. Then why did you tamper with the crime scene? I refuse to answer that question. What? You suspect this witness, then I have a question for you. What could it be this time? Uendo had absolutely no reason to murder Taifu Tornado. After all, why would Uendo kill the man who recognized his skills and promoted him? Oh! Well, his motive was, I can't think of a single thing. It appears you are also not aware of one other fact. And that is? That the accused was in the dressing room before 4 p.m. as well. Is it not natural, then, to suppose that the accused killed the victim at that time? What?! Nobody told me Mr. Wet had also gone there before 4 p.m. We were only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m., so I didn't think to mention it. Now that you have made the time period before 4 p.m. relevant. Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. So, you really do not know what your client was doing during that time frame, do you? Well, it was all very sudden, and, why did you wait until the very last second to contact me, Simon? Don't you give me that look! Just so you know, Bucky never told me he had visited the Master before 4 p.m. either. This sort of thing is exactly why that prosecutor keeps calling us unprepared. The defense will stop squabbling this instant. Sorry, Your Honor. Prosecutor Sadmati, please continue. Thank you, Your Honor. Defense, you know the soba-making implements in the dressing room, correct? Is he talking about the equipment for making soba noodles? You speak of the large bowl that is used to mix buckwheat flour and water? The large rolling pin and the special knife that is used to cut dough into noodles? Precisely. These tools all come from the accused's shoba shop. You mean they didn't belong to Master Toledo? Mr. Wet had visited the dressing room to give the victim a soba making lesson, and that visit was before 4 p.m. I'm afraid that after the accused kneaded the dough and made those noodles, he committed the act of murder. But wait, that doesn't add up! If Mr. Wet killed the victim before 4 p.m., why would he return to that room at a later time? Wet soba! You're kit and caboodle when it comes to noodles. Oh my! Hiya, Miss Chickadee. Hey, Asimi! The reason I went back is because Master Toledo ordered uncooked noodles. Mr. Wet! Yesterday, I brought noodle-making tools to the dressing room at around 2 p.m. That's when Master Toledo ordered uncooked soba noodles to stock up on. Uncooked noodles to stock up on? Yes, ma'am. Master Toledo kept a supply of soba noodles from my shop in his fridge. He only had one serving left, so I went back to my shop to get some more. One serving of noodles in the fridge? But I thought the fridge was practically empty. Anyway, the whereabouts of the missing noodles isn't all that important now. You ran into me and Garu when you came back to deliver the uncooked soba, correct? That's right, Simey. I made time out of my busy day to deliver him the noodles. And you know what? He ignored me when I called him from the inner doorway. Just kept mumbling Rakugo lines for ages, so I got mad and went back to my soba shop. Ah, so that's why you got mad. If what he's saying is true, then there's no way he could be the murderer. I swear I'm telling the truth, Miss Chica. But Baylor, quick! Get this man to the infirmary! Well, I dare say he's quite the handful. So he fell for it too? I'm guessing he did, yes. Your Honor, please accept the statements Mr. Wet made just now as the evidence. I believe the accused's statement about going to the room at around 2 p.m. is true. Were it falls within the victim's estimated time of death. It opens up the possibility that the crime was committed between 2 and 4 p.m. That's some critical information. Yes, Your Honor. But other than that one point, Mr. Wet's statements are dubious and without proof.
Objection!
But they are the words of the defendant himself. Simon, back me up here. He has a point. If I were the prosecutor, I wouldn't accept them either. While I understand the defense's feelings on the matter, this court is unable to accept anything other than the time the defendant made his visit. Now what do I do? I trust you have no further objections, defense. At last, the time has come to send the soul of the victim onward to the...
Silence!
What are you yammering on about, Prosecutor Sadno? We still have something we need to question Uendo about. We do? Like what? Well, don't just stand there. But we don't have any evidence left to present. Have you forgotten already? Isn't there still a hidden witness you have yet to question? A hidden witness? Oh, that's right! Your Honor, there's still one more issue we haven't finished discussing yet. Oh, and what is this bit of unfinished business? We haven't finished discussing this issue related to Uendo. Owen. We still have to discuss the possibility of a fourth personality, the one named Owen. Are you suggesting that this fourth personality of Uendo's might be the true culprit? Jeez, not that again. I told you we don't know anything about this Owen. Look, Uendo, I know you don't have any motive to kill your master, but... This Owen may have one for all we know. Come clean now, Uendo. You've got another personality stashed away, haven't you? Please tell us everything you know about Owen. That's enough! The witness has already stated that he knows not of any Owen character. Bravo! You tell him, Mr. Prosecutor! Hey, Patches. If you claim you don't know Owen, when you really do, that's tantamount to perjury. If you want to exercise your right to remain silent, however, well, that's a different story. Do not listen to the depraved prosecutor witness, you will be tainted with this evil. Do you have any idea how dark and cold a prison cell is? I exercise my right to remain silent! What's this now? Changing courses in midstream, are you? Shut up! I will remain silent and that's it! Patches, you fool! You stay out of this! Ha ha ha! Patches is not the brightest bulb in that box you call a noggin, is he? The fact that he switched from I don't know any Owen to I will remain silent is proof that he does know about Owen. And there it is again, Simon's formidable psychological manipulation tactic. I'm sure glad he's on my side. You dirty, despicable, depraved prosecutor! You were leading the witness! Witness, there is no need for you to submit yourself to the defense's question.
Objection!
Your Honor, Wendo is definitely hiding something. Please allow me to question this witness about the existence of Owen. I suppose only this witness can confirm or deny the existence of Owen for us. Very well, I will allow the defense to proceed. Pokunka! I've never met any personality named Owen. Patches was just blurting out nonsense in a panic. We're always aware, so we definitely noticed if a personality like that showed up. How dare you treat me like a criminal based on mere conjecture! Wow, how am I supposed to deal with the testimony of 3 personalities? Unless you can prove the existence of Owen, here it's all over. You best screw your courage to the sticking place and attack their testimony head on. Alright, I will. Just stop piling the pressure on me. I had to try out some info, anything to drag Owen out into the open. I've never met any personality named Owen. Patches was just blurting out nonsense in a panic. We're always aware, so we definitely noticed if a personality like that showed up. If you were aware, huh? So what if you're not aware? Well, what if for some reason you 3 were unconscious at the time of the incident? If the 3 of you weren't alert and aware, what would happen? What would happen? I'm not even sure what you mean. I mean, you 3 share the same memories, right? But what if Owen is different? What if he has memories separate from yours? Maybe Owen emerges when the 3 of you are unaware or unconscious.
Objection!
Instead of speaking as if this 4th personality is a foregone conclusion, I suggest you prove its existence first. Well, we've already seen 3 personalities, a 4th wouldn't be a stretch. What are the badges in the top left where choices come up by the way up? Oh, those are, strikes. Strikes. Basically, if you get a choice wrong, you basically have 1 badge removed. If you lose all 5 badges, you basically lose the case. You dishonor the victim in this court by jumping to such conclusions without proof. Have you ever heard these old sayings, Prosecutor Satomari? What happens twice will happen thrice. If you see 1, there are likely 30 in your home. I'm basing my theory on such premises. Comparing us to cockroaches. Do we bug you that much, girlie? How do you intend to prove it? How will you prove that all 3 personalities became unconscious, as you say? And you have to start over, or does the story continue from there? I think the story continues from where you actually messed up. Unless you can do that, all of this talk is merely empty speculation. Well, Don't be so timid. If you don't have it, then find it. Look for something that could rather render Uendo and the others unconscious. Time is right. I can't back down now. For my client, Mr. Wet, I have to. Wait, Mr. Wet? Let me fresh? Ha! Maybe you're a lump of regular flour dough for udon noodles, but I'm fresh like my soba, and you don't let soba dough rest. It's all about the 3 freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles fresh. So there's like checkpoints throughout the trial? Yes and no sometimes. I mean, it's always recommended to save at crucial junctions in order in case if you mess up. Say for example, if I messed up right now, it's better to save right here so I can come back and restart from this specific spot. He's blacked out! Mr. Wet, falling unconscious? Wait a minute, I think I've got it! Sykes? Do you have proof to back up your theory? Yes! Yes, Your Honor, I do. The proof is right here in this crime photo. It is? In that case, please point out what supports your theory. This, most likely, is what caused Uendo to lose consciousness.
Take that!
This is probably what made Uendo lose consciousness. Yes, the sake. It isn't just like Mother-Noroi to pick a fine brand like Campbell. Sake? Oh, you mean rice wine? Oh, please. Don't call it rice wine. That's so unsophisticated. And it's not even wine. Silly girl. I must agree. You need to become more cultured, Peter. Tomato. It's made of rice and people get drunk from drinking it, right? It's called sake. End of story. Fine, sake it is then. Ay, caramba. Everybody's so touchy about these things. I recall Master Tonito would often have a drink or two before performing. He said it made him more eloquent. Drinking too much of the stuff can make one lose consciousness, though, of course. And look, there were 2 glasses on the table. Uendo, I believe your master offered you some sake. And then you must have drank too much and passed out. That's when your 4th personality, Owen, emerged. I drank sake? Oh, that's a good one. We have a real sweet tooth, you see, so yes, we did accept the sugary red bean bun. But since we really dislike sake, we said no thank you to that. Believe it or not, we're real weak when it comes to booze. Even a tiny drop can knock us right out. So you see, I had a sweet manju bun, but I didn't drink any sake. What? But that can't be right. The first demand said the glasses be examined right away. You amateur! Do you really think I had not already done so? Your foolishness is beyond the pale. Don't tell me. There is no trace of the witness having touched either of the glasses, naturally. Right, of course. Miss Sykes, would you like the witness's statement added to his testimony? Yes, please, Your Honor. Very well. I had a sweet manju bun, but I didn't drink any sake.
Objection!
This shows what most likely made Uendo lose consciousness. That note? Are you feeling lightheaded, child, or perhaps a bit peckish? I'm not hungry, and my head feels just fine, thank you very much. Look at the paper this note is written on. Isn't there something familiar about it? What exactly is your point, Defense? This faint design here reminds me of the paper from... Yep, it's a piece of the wrapping paper on the box of manju buns by the victim on the floor. Uendo, you may not have drunk any sake, but you did eat a sweet red bean bun, right? Well, yes, that's right. I don't know if you are aware of it or not, Uendo, but I believe the manju weight caused you to fall unconscious. The bean bun? But how? Because those buns contained a secret ingredient. A very punchy secret ingredient at that. A punchy secret ingredient? Yes. The design on the wrapping paper matches that of something else in the room. It does? The design on this object matches that of the manju's box, on this object matches that of the manju's box wrapping paper. It contains the sake. Yep. A camel pouch. It's the same as the one for camel brand sake. So, just as Uendo said, he didn't drink any sake per se. But he did eat some. Impossible! Uendo had a Camel brand bean bun, which boasts a nice shot of sake as one of his ingredients. This is claiming that Uendo passed out after consuming a Camel sweet bun, which allowed a fourth personality named Owen to emerge. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. That's exactly what I'm claiming. There's one thing that bothers me. Wouldn't the alcoholic content of the buns evaporate as they are steamed? In order to give them a stronger flavor, the manju are specially made to retain as much of their alcoholic content as possible. What kind of lightweight do you think I am? Even I wouldn't pass out from eating a simple manju. And how about we test that theory? What do you say, Your Honor? Seeing is believing, as they say. Very well, I will allow a test. Thanks, Your Honor. Simon, go buy us some camel manju on the double. And don't forget to get me one too, okay? Why must I? And while you're at it, Prosecutor Blackwell, you will get one for me as well. I'm not the courthouse stable boy, you know. But just this once, I'll acquiesce. Taka, I'm counting on you. Now you had better pay me back. Aw, but I think it would be your treat, Prosecutor Blackwell. What a shame. Now then, let us adjourn until the manju arrive by carrier hawk. Court will reconvene as soon as Taka returns. Okay, I think this is a good place to stop today's live stream. We shall pick this back up tomorrow. I need to take me a break, stretch my legs, and probably find me something to eat. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it here for today. Whew. Hey, thanks for the sub. It really does help out in the long run. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and as always, as your host, TheAmariaShadow, saying long see, and I'll see you for the next adventure. Goodbye, everyone!